ONPASSIVE till Bill gets back on here is ONPASSIVE is an AI IT company, and they are going viral, folks. You know, as people are learning what it's all about, we're having anywhere from 2 to 3 people join a minute. We're almost hitting 250,000 founders. And that is really, really exciting because, you know, once we go public, we're all going to become resellers. And I don't know any company out there, if you do some research, that went public with, say, 250,000 founders at the time. So that is really something, really something. I'm really excited to be a part of this. And as I said earlier, we're just having some technical difficulties. Here is Dr. Bill.
Sometimes the music just plays and you get a dance.
Did you get it off?
I did. I found it.
Way to go. Way to go.
iTunes was just blaring in the background. So.
Well, I was just talking about working online. You really have to have patience because all kinds of things can happen. And especially when you're live, you can't control that.
Especially when you're using your wife's computer and she's got it set to do things that I don't normally know about.
Well, we're going to jump right into it. And I have a quote that originally when I read it that Bill wrote, it really tweaked for me because I have said some of the similar things. So I'm just going to read the quote. So just bear with me because I'm reading. And what he said was, are you one that looks to the opportunity in the future or at the regrets and accomplishments of the past? Those who live looking in the rearview mirror typically miss out on the golden goose, the magic beans, or the secret sauce. And as I said, it just totally resonated with me because I have said many times to people, you need to not be looking in your rearview mirror. That's your past. You need to be looking forward. So I would love if you would expand on this for us.
You know, I was in South Africa on a safari tour, riding in a Land Cruiser, and I was sitting in the passenger side. Tour guide was driving, and I took a picture out, and in the picture there was also the rearview mirror, and so I was going forward, but I could see in the rearview mirror what was behind me, and that picture gave me the thought that you can't live in the rearview mirror, that if you're going to go forward, you got to keep your eyes forward.
True.
And focused on the future, what you're going to do in the future, what action you're going to take, versus looking in the past, enjoying the legacy of what you've already created. It's not time to do that if you're trying to make a future for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so true. So what exactly are you referring to when you're talking about, okay, you're going to miss out on a golden goose, the magic beans, the secret sauce? So, because when I read some stuff about you, you're successful in many, many areas, and then you decided to get in with ONPASSIVE. And not only did you come in with ONPASSIVE, but you were also brought into the Leadership Council with ONPASSIVE. So to me, when I read somebody in your position speaking about the golden egg, the magic beans, the secret sauce, obviously you're referring to something.
Well, yeah, I have a point of view that I see I've been an instructor, a teacher of people for 40 years, in addition to being a dentist for 45 years. I got the bug to teach dentist about 5 years into my practice. I started realizing what I'm doing was not the same as most of the people, and I started teaching what I was doing. I taught my first class in 1983 in Toronto, Canada. So my first international class.
I hope you weren't here in the winter.
I've been to Quebec, Montreal in the winter. That's a cold place.
Woo. It's cold, yes.
I've been to Calgary in the winter skiing. It's a cold place.
Vancouver Island isn't. Generally, we don't get a lot of freezing temperatures. That's why I'm living here.
No, I love Vancouver Island. I've been to Victoria and enjoyed that a whole lot. I have Canadian friends that live in your city that are dental friends of mine, and we have enjoyed company with those fellows for years.
That's awesome. So you started teaching.
Yeah, my teaching
passion.
Yeah, I've been teaching, and I had run institutes before. I've run a mastermind for the last 10 years where I bring people into my home and we sit around the table and talk about how to grow business. Mm. And the golden goose and the magic beans and the secret sauce, they do have a place to discuss with the concept of ONPASSIVE. So let me define the golden goose. You know, that's a fable with a lesson that far-sighted action can destroy the profitability of an asset. Kill the golden goose, you lose your asset.
Yeah.
Well, remember, time is an asset. Once it passes, it's no longer an asset.
True.
We're focused on the next 6 weeks and ONPASSIVE like nothing ever, because when the foundership position ends, that's the end of a golden goose's laying eggs. And I don't think people realize that the golden goose is so golden.
Mm-hmm.
They're so anxious for the beginning of the soft launch and for the hard launch to make the money. But that's the end of the golden goose in certain ways. So don't be so anxious to kill the golden goose. Enjoy it while it's here, because it's going to keep putting out those golden eggs. So that's kind of lesson one.
Okay.
If you're so hungry for money, if you're so desperate for money that you want to kill the golden goose to get started with the soft launch, you're making a serious mistake. The guys that just got in don't want it to start soon because they don't have a team built. It's your time to build a team.
Right. So you're referring to the part that people that are founders already have the option of building teams. And so the quicker it goes forward, the less time they would have to build a team. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
For founders, there's definitely time to do something more. And a lot of people we know are not builders. And they're comfortable to sit in the rocking chair waiting for the launch so they can get their beginning of the building of their team automatically by ONPASSIVE. That's okay. And we don't make anybody wrong for being what I call a rocking chair founder. But I'm just speaking to the people who want to build. It's time to make do. Second part was the magic beans.
Mm-hmm.
Making the most of life's opportunities that are present.
Oh, yeah.
Trading that certain income from the cow for magic beans for Jack created a future of unknown riches. He didn't know what he was going to get into.
Yeah.
Opportunities that came with a lot of risk and that beanstalk. You know, what's at the top of that beanstalk? So with ONPASSIVE, $97 is a finite number. You can't do much with $97 in the real world.
No.
But ONPASSIVE is indeed a magic bean because what you can do with it is infinite. And so you've got a bucket of cow's milk and you've got magic beans. Which one do you want to bet on for your future?
Exactly.
Don't worry about crying over that spilt milk because it's not much.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
You would definitely cry over losing ONPASSIVE if you had already seen the future and know where it's going to be. And that's the hard part I have, understanding why people are so short-sighted and can't see the future and what could be when $97 can't be. So just think about it. That's the magic bean.
Oh, true.
A lot of people say it's not the money. I'm kind of afraid to look stupid. This might be a scam.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd put on a clown face and look stupid if somebody would offer me $1 million. You look a lot more stupid to me if you turn down $97 option to become a trillionaire. That's just me, you know. I'm a realist.
I mean, $97, what can you do with it? I know there's people globally coming into the founders that are very, very fixed for money. So 97 is quite a lot to them. But overall, $97, like, can you even go out for a nice dinner anymore for $97?
No. No, you know, I see some of my friends looking at a bottle of Kentucky bourbon more than $97. I see some people going out to dinner for two people at a steak restaurant, twice that.
Sure.
So it just happens that $97 doesn't mean a lot to some people, and they still won't do anything. It's all about what's in here, and I call it fear of man, fear of what people think of them if it doesn't work out.
Right.
That's all it is. It's fear.
Yes.
And I'm not afraid to be silly or look stupid when I have an opportunity. You know, dancing on the dance floor would be a lot more intimidating to me if I were dancing with the stars.
Ah.
So finally, the secret sauce of ONPASSIVE is that ONPASSIVE leaders let their team members grow within their group. That's the secret sauce. Leaders inspire and create a community of learners that learn to take action.
Mm.
Those that are not successful don't inspire their teams. They maybe try to do it all by themselves. But I notice that the people that are successful are team leaders. Mm-hmm. They inspire their people to go out and learn more, and then they do more. It's how you grow your magic beans. Is actually what we want to do is take those magic beans and teach our team to grow those beans, multiply them essentially.
Yes, yes. Well, I've always seen it as a good leader will always lead by example. Because if I just sit back and just say, do this, do this, do this, but I'm not in action about it, I think the whole example is setting the precedent, if you will.
Yeah, I've got a lot of sayings and things about the SEAL team. And one of the tenets of the SEAL team is that you don't tell people what to do. You tell them what the goal is and let them figure out with your help what to do rather than tell them what to do. That's the future of what's going to make us a vibrant team that's going to grow and become very successful.
I like it. So with all of this, why would you decide to go into ONPASSIVE? I know you've given us little tidbits already, but it seems like, okay, you're in a good position in your life. I believe you're retired, or you're retiring?
Well, I've got one day a week that I book patients.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time for me to look at retirement.
Okay.
I want to. I like what I do as a dentist, but I don't want to make my next 30 years be like my last 45 years. I would like to slow down, and I'm working one day a week as a dentist, and I can probably sustain that level of activity without too much trouble. It's not too stressful.
Yeah.
But 6 days off and one day on, you know, that's different from what I used to do.
I'm sure.
But I'm in ONPASSIVE now because I enjoy the challenge, and I've always enjoyed challenges, you know, whether it's teaching. I've been in a lot of different companies. I've done many things that most people would never do. Drilling oil in Kazakhstan, started a lottery in the Ukraine, chased treasure in Indonesia. Things that most people think that's kind of crazy. Well, it was kind of crazy, but I had fun doing it. All while I was still practicing dentistry and whatnot. And so when ONPASSIVE came along, it's like, that's a lot of fun. and I enjoy having fun with other people doing things that are challenging. And so taking on something like ONPASSIVE is right down my alley. I
Okay.
don't know everything about IT, but I have been teaching courses for 30 years using the internet for 25 years. You know, I had a bulletin board BBS system, and I mined the internet for email back in 1988, 89. So AOL and CompuServe, you know, we computerized our office in 1981. So I know computers a bit. I've been a webmaster for dentists and did that for 5 years, built websites. It's not a dull life, you know, you just kind of keep doing and having fun. The
Well,
more
isn't
people
that
you can
part of
bring
it?
with you, the better.
Yes, yes, for sure. So what do your friends and family think about this? You know, obviously they're kind of used to your personality and you liking something that's a little different or a challenge. Did your friends and family say, hey, right on, or did they say, what are you doing now?
Now, very few of them follow me like hook, line, and sinker because I'm on the edge. I'm always on the edge, and they have to catch up to what I'm thinking or doing. Usually, most of my wife's relatives are founders in ONPASSIVE. Most of my own brothers are not. So you know who thinks you're smart. You know, your first family, your relatives, your blood relatives, they're the ones that think you're pretty dumb.
Sometimes it's harder to share it with those closest to you.
Well, they don't want to hear it. I shared it with them, but they don't really want to hear it. I'm just their older brother who thinks he knows everything. You know how that goes. Can't tell the younger brothers much.
So you're going to bite your tongue when all this comes to pass, and you're not going to try to say, I told you so.
No. I told them already they should do it, and it'll be their choice if they do or don't.
Right.
Now, my wife's family, they pretty much listen, you know. So I've got most of those guys. There's a lot of them, and so there's 20 of them probably in there, and that's good. I call it, you know, building the family legacy and the family dynasty.
Yes.
I don't want to leave people behind, and I don't want people to look at me down the road going, why didn't you tell me about this? So it's important that we first tell our family about it, and then we tell our friends about it, because what I always say is you don't want to go on these trips and do the bucket list items by yourself.
Right.
If you're going to have something to spend money on, like a trip every now and then, it's better to go with friends.
Exactly.
I've made a lot of friends in ONPASSIVE. You know, I can't wait to travel with Ash or Red Redfern or any of the guys that you meet along the way. But you do have some friends at home that have been your buddies for years, and you'd like to take them too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's something. So tell us, what are some of your, can I say, favorite parts about ONPASSIVE, or things that really endear you about ONPASSIVE? Share a little bit of that with us.
Well, the uniqueness of the systems, really nice, really nice. Something that's never been done before. The unique compensation plan will distribute the income from the company to us founders in a way that is going to be unbelievable to the world. Some people predict it'll change the economic systems of the world. And probably 6 months ago, I said to myself, Ash Mafarov may win the Nobel Prize for economics for establishing a new economic system.
Yes.
Some have said it may go as far as the Peace Prize if nations become so self-sufficient. But we'll see. But I think the economic Nobel Prize could be within grasp if this system is revolutionary and shows to change the way people look at, you know, the big corporations that rule right now. We could bring them down a notch and let there be a lot more egalitarianism among the people. That'd be a big thing. Right now,
That's
people
huge.
don't like the big tech people. They don't like them at all.
Yeah, that's huge.
Another
Well,
thing I like is the product line. You know, I've always been building stuff and putting things together on the internet. You know,
okay.
starting with slideshows and videos. Uh, Back in the day, you know, I would go live on a webcast and go to meeting, go to webinar. Those things were tough. And even Zoom now, working pretty good, but it's tough and it's limited. And so whatever thing we have that we're building now is going to magnify ONPASSIVE in every area, 50 different portfolios that we'll have. We're going to be so much better than anything that's out there. What can you imagine with all the technology and the AI built into it? We're going to be so in demand. As Ash says, they're going to be seeking us.
Yes.
We are the hunted.
Yeah.
And once you get the products and you get the compensation plan and people buying it as customers, then that creates cash flow, that creates lifestyle, and what I call the overabundance. If you look at our lifestyle, most people live on X number of dollars, and if they get 2X, they think they're in heaven.
Right.
And so I have a feeling ONPASSIVE is going to provide 100X. So you're going to have 98X to spread around and be Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, Mother Teresa, all in one. You can do good works. You can do charitable things with nonprofits, and you can just be. It's like being a granddad to everybody you know. You always want to give to your grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be my grandchild when I get to have the success that I hope for.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and isn't that the beauty of it when you have time freedom, when, you know, say for the 9-to-5er that all of a sudden has this freedom, has no worry about how do I pay my mortgage, all these other things that are driving them to stay where they are. Now, all of a sudden, if you have some of that freedom and financial freedom happening, it just opens so many doors. And yes, that whole, as you're saying, Mother Teresa, all of these things of paying it forward, because something Ash had said that I think, I won't quote him exactly, but I remember hearing him saying something about ONPASSIVE will be the correction to the corruption to bring things into an even playing field.
That's exactly what he said. Yeah, and even the snowbirds can stay south instead of have to go back and forth.
Isn't that it?
Come in out of the cold.
Yeah, that's it. You know, this opportunity covers the whole gamut of people. Like, there's really nobody that can't benefit for this. Would you agree?
There's not a single soul on earth who can't benefit. And you can only look at Papua New Guinea and get the answer there. There's thousands of people in that island. Pretty remote place in the world. Thousands of people who've come aboard. I've got people in at least 30, 40 countries in my group alone that I've attracted to ONPASSIVE. And it's just because it fits everybody's potential. Nobody will be left out. Everybody has the same opportunity. You don't have to be educated. Don't have to be anything. You just sign up and enjoy sharing the word of what's possible.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was thinking this morning, my husband and I were talking about it because I was mentioning my interview with you today. And I said, you know, if we look at Canada alone, I don't know what it would be for the US, but Canada alone, they say you're kind of just above the poverty line if you're in that 38 to 42,000 a year. Now, if I took that number and moved it to Papua New Guinea, I moved it to Vietnam or Cambodia or some of these countries, that would make them millionaires beyond their wildest dreams. You know, so much of this is relative as to where a person's located. You know, I've heard different numbers and projections and ideas of what could be, you know, even if a person in that position were making all of a sudden $6,000, $7,000 extra a month or a year. Wow.
That's wealth in those countries.
That truly is amazing.
Yeah, I have dental assistants here in my office. If they joined ONPASSIVE, they would immediately double their income if they did nothing.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, doing nothing is pretty easy.
No kidding. So just to start wrapping it up, do you have, whether we're a founder, there would be a certain thing that you could say, or whether we're a non-founder, do you have, non-founder yet, I want to say, do you have any, maybe a couple tips for us going forward and stopping that, looking in our rearview mirror and moving forward to take a hold of those things you talked about, the golden goose, the magic beans, the secret sauce? Because everybody is wanting to better their life, but often it's the fear that's holding us back.
Well, the thing about it is you have to choose the path or take your chances. If you don't make a choice, you know, your history doesn't have to be your destiny.
Right.
You can actually create your own future if you take a risk. The risk of doing nothing, does it outweigh the risk of going forward? That's the question.
Right.
When it comes time to decide what to do, you have to plan your mission backwards if time is the issue. So you've got a certain amount of time, and you know we've been talking about 6 weeks. Arbitrarily, that's when we launch.
Okay.
If you have that as an issue, that much time, you need to plan your mission backwards from your objective, which is what? You got to have an objective, right?
Right.
You don't want to wait around for a no-risk solution. I mean, risking $97 and a little bit of embarrassment if you don't make it is not worth waiting to get past those two things. It's never going to get cheaper than $97. It will get more expensive. It's going to go up to $149, then it'll be unavailable.
Right.
So I would say that get off the fence and make a decision if you haven't joined. And all the people who are watching that are just waiting for something, get off the fence. Yeah. Come join us, or get off the fence and go enjoy the playground, the sand pit. The cat's probably in there with you, though.
Mm-hmm.
That sandbox is full of stuff. Play with us. It's a better place.
Oh, for sure. Well, and the thing of it is that $97 is a lifetime guarantee refund if you change your mind. So even if you're a skeptic and you come in and you pay your $97 and you have a look around and your mind is blown and you stay, or you say, you know what, this isn't for me, you can get your refund in a month, in 6 months, in a year. So you've lost nothing.
Hey, you want me to give you a teaser?
Sure.
Think about this. I did a little bit of research looking at the old compensation plan. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's the true one, but it's supposedly the one we got. The new compensation plan is better than the old one. Mm-hmm. I had nothing to go on totally for the new one, so I went and looked at the old one, and I calculated up that the average team position is worth $28 a month to you, or $333 a year.
Okay.
And therefore, it takes 300 positions in your team to equal $100,000 income. Now, How hard is it to get $100,000 income these days in most jobs? It doesn't grow on a tree, and you don't go out and get one. And a lot of people go to school or college for 4 years to get a job, and they don't get to $100,000, right?
Plus, they're probably in debt for their education.
Mm-hmm. Think about this now. If you want to get 300 members on your team, you could buy 300 positions yourself. Or you could get 300 people to buy one position.
Yeah.
Well, can you sell that many people on a good idea? Personally, some of us have, some of us haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in Great Britain just passed 1,000. So it can be done, right? If it's been done, it's probably possible. That's one of my sayings that I've always said. If it's been done, it's probably possible.
Right.
What about this? Get one person to buy one position, and then get that person to get somebody else to get one position, and just keep that going. You know how long it would take if you did that? If one person just got one person to get a new position, it would take 10 days.
Wow.
10 days if everybody just got one. Now, if you get one every day per person that gets involved, it only takes 7 days. And so the power of multiplication will get you to 300 quite quick.
Oh, wow. Yes.
So I would tell people that are interested in building a team, because you've only got 6 weeks or so, it is time to get off the fence and build a team. That's kind of the message of get 6 people to help you build a team, and it'll go a lot faster.
Yes, indeed.
The power of 6.
I love it. That makes it so simple when you see that. You know, when you break it down like that,
Mm-hmm.
it really is very simple.
Yes. If you and 6 people do one person, invite them in and they join a day, that's 300. That means you have $100,000 income for life. It really means more than that, because it grows every year. It doesn't stay there.
Well, sure. Right, because the company will be doing everything for us, the advertising, the driving traffic, the bringing in, the closing, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's all there for us, and the people that want it, it's there. The people who can't see it, well, they're looking in the rearview mirror, because it's been shown.
True. So true. Wow. Well, you know, this has been fantastic. This has really given me an expanded thought on looking in the rearview mirror. And I'm a big one for setting goals. I love setting short-term and then long-term, and then kind of going through my checklist as I get there. Or if I haven't, I have to kind of work a little harder. And I really believe that by getting our focus forward, and this simple explanation of even getting one and how it builds and that multiplication would really be a no-brainer, really. And what it can do for someone's life, as far as wherever you're at financially, wherever you're at with, you know, desiring that time freedom, this could be a complete game changer for people. Wow.
New rules, new game. They call it a mic drop moment once you realize.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of mic drop moments as I was listening to different webinars Ash was giving. And, you know, he drops bombs all the time.
Yeah.
His management style is to tease and drop bombs and wow us. And he's done that with regularity.
True.
Yeah, you remember when he said, it's not just going to be the subscription income you get, it's going to be ad revenue. Ad revenue is so huge, people don't realize that. Ad revenue by Google and Facebook is what makes those people run. That's why they're the richest in the world. Ad revenue. ONPASSIVE will have ad revenue. We don't know where that could lead to, but we know that that's a huge factor in future income, and we'll all share in that.
Yes. Well, on that note, we're going to close because that is just a perfect note for everybody to think about. If you're not in on passive, we encourage you to get in because this is an opportunity that you do not want to miss. Like I said at the beginning, this is a company that is literally going viral. I think we're at 2 to 3 people a minute joining because they're catching the vision. So Dr. Bill Williams, thank you very much. I love what you shared with us.
You're welcome, Tyra. It's good to be here. And anybody wants to see any of my videos, Dr. Bill Williams on Yahoo. I'm sorry, on YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
Yeah, I'm welcome anybody to use those to share with their friends if they want to tell people about what's going on. Use my videos. I don't mind.
Awesome. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for taking the time today and joining us. I sure appreciate it. Have a super day.
Aye.
Well, there you have it, you guys. Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you to Dr. Bill Williams. So I think after listening to him, you really don't have a reason not to join and just see where it takes you. And just the simplicity that he spoke about in sharing and the multiplication. I mean, that is just priceless, folks. So thanks again for joining me. I sure appreciate you taking the time. It was wonderful. Stay tuned for more interviews coming up. The month of February, I have all kinds of things happening. So be sure you follow, like, and as I said, my YouTube channel of the same name. And as Dr. Bill had shared, about his channel. Go ahead and check that out. So bye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.